Second.
It says live now.
Okay, cool. So,
I didn't
welcome
I didn't have a
everyone.
chance to, I
This
didn't
is
have a chance. Oh, sorry,
no,
Mike. Go
you're
ahead.
okay. For Mark's Elvis for Everyone channel, and this is David.
Are you there?
And
Anybody watching?
David's channel is Elvis Presley in Japan, right?
Hmm. That's right.
So, David, in my experience with David is the no, he knows a lot about anything Elvis Japanese related vinyl. Check out his channel. He's got a ton of great, insightful videos about a lot of the Japanese pressings. But what's really cool that I didn't realize about you, David, you have a lot of U.S. pressings, UK pressings, and such, right?
Yeah. So the main part of my collection is actually UK pressings, and I just pick up American ones whenever I can, and Japanese ones. Yeah, I'm less excited about the Japanese ones than other countries because I live here. So while they're not all easy to find, most of them are not that difficult to find. I mean, the 50s stuff is difficult to find, of course, but yeah, I tend to enjoy collecting the ones from other countries more, and especially from the UK.
So there's a rumor out there, and you can dispel this or you can confirm it. I hear that the Japanese pressings are the best sounding on vinyl. Is that true, or is that up to opinion?
I think it's more to do with the actual quality of the vinyl itself rather than the actual the music that they're using, because obviously they're getting copies of the master recordings from America. So it's actually down to the quality of the vinyl. The vinyl is very quiet. So if you listen to the music on headphones, for example, you can't hear any of that rumble that you get on some other countries' pressings.
Now, would you rank UK as right around the same, better than American? Would you say?
No, to me, the American ones sound the best of all.
Really, more so than the Japanese?
Yeah, because the Japanese also they tend to be a bit more middly than other countries. They have less bass than other countries.
Really?
So you've got to kind of crank up the bass a little bit if you like deep bass.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have probably ranked it, and I don't know anything about this. This is just my, my thoughts. So this is not factual, but I would have, from what I've heard from other people, let me put it that way. I would have probably ranked it Japanese, then UK, because I hear the UKs are phenomenal, and
Mm.
the American would be next.
The old UK albums are well made. Yeah, I will say that. But I've always enjoyed the American ones. I can't hear any problems with the original American pressings.
So I'm going to be pulling a lot of questions towards you and pulling your wisdom because you know your stuff. So,
Oh
question:
yeah, I'll
Why
probably be asking you.
why are the UK albums the covers so flimsy? Why did they do that? What is the like? They're
Mm.
glossy and they're nice, but they're so flimsy.
Well, the Japanese ones were too. The original Japanese ones, like the one that you have, the Funny in Acapulco. They made them that way presumably to save money. I
Is that
guess
what it was to save money?
I, I'm I'm just guessing, but I guess the laminate that they put on the front and sometimes on the back, that obviously costs money.
Yeah.
So I guess they use cheaper card.
So we have Marcus that I can see. How you doing, Marcus? Mike is in there. He says hello, hello, Mark and David. So Marcus has a question. On my copy of Aloha from Japan, it sounds better than US and it has a different version of a song than the US.
Right.
You know
Well, the
that?
original it depends which Japanese one he's talking about. I suppose he's got the first one, which has the catalog number SRA something or other. That will be the first pressing, and that one's in normal stereo, whereas the American one was quadrophonic, wasn't it? The first American pressing.
Yes.
So I guess they will sound different. And
Now,
what
were the
was
again pulling your knowledge? I had somebody ask me that about a week or so ago. The quadra of is it phonic? Is that how you pronounce?
quadrophonic? Yeah.
What was the difference between the stereo and the quadrophonic? Was it just more of a? the
What
whole
is
stereo thing? Was it because of the new systems that were coming out in the 70s?
well,
Or
quadraphonic? Quadraphonic has 4 channels, so you need 4 speakers to be able to hear all the music that's on there. But you can still
really?
play a quadraphonic. You can still play a quadraphonic album on a regular stereo. But I don't
It's
think
going to
the
sound it's going to sound the same then as just a regular stereo one if you just have the two speakers.
well, it doesn't. I don't know what exactly how it works, but I actually did a video where I uploaded parts of the Japanese Madison Square Garden quadraphonic 4 channel album, and I compared that with the American stereo album. And people were saying in the comments that they could definitely hear differences, and that they preferred the quadraphonic sound. So when you play a quad back on a stereo with a stereo cartridge, you can still hear it. You can still hear everything, but somehow it sounds different. I don't know the technical ins and outs of it, but really you need a proper 4 channel needle to play a 4 channel record. Apparently, if you play a 4 channel record with a standard stereo cartridge, it's not that good for the record. But
Oh,
you know, who's got a proper 4 channel cartridge anymore?
exactly. I actually don't own a quadrophonic LP. I'm sure you do. I
Uh,
don't.
oh, all right. Yeah,
Uh,
I've got a few because there were about half a dozen, 6, 7 Japanese Elvis quad albums, most of the live albums, plus from Elvis in Memphis.
oh, okay.
Today in Promised Land as well. And Marcus said something about a different track. That is I Can't Stop Loving You. That's that's the version from Madison Square Garden. They put that on the original Japanese Aloha album because there was a problem with the master tape.
Did not know that. I'm going to learn a lot
So
from you.
if you listen very closely, you can hear it is there are certain giveaway signs. I did a video about this actually as well. So if you listen to the Aloha, the proper version in the actual Aloha version, you can hear a woman saying, "I love you, Elvis." And I didn't know what she was saying, but quite a few people kindly told me what she was saying. So I now know that she's saying, "I love you, Elvis." And you can hear her in the Aloha version, but you can't hear her on the Japanese first Aloha LP because it's not the same. It's not the same song, not the same version.
Wow.
So it sounds like if he's talking about "I Can't Stop Loving You," it means he's got the first Japanese pressing.
So
And they redid it.
Mike says, Mark and David, are you guys looking forward to the 6 CD Blu-ray of Elvis on Tour box set? I'm excited. Can't wait for December 2nd. I'm getting it.
Well,
I'm pretty
you go
excited
first.
about it. RCA Legacy is doing it, so I'm sure they're going to clean up the master tapes and and everything. And I think the Blu-ray, from what I understand, is the same Blu-ray that came out a number of years back. There's nothing added, no bonus features or anything. But Legacy does a good job. I have pretty much all the only actually it's funny we're talking about Aloha of the Legacy 4 LP sets. The only one I don't have is the Aloha one.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
need to pick that up eventually. It's kind of getting a little pricey, but I have That's
Mhm.
the Way It Is. I have the Live on Stage of Memphis, and I think is that just was that the only three that's out on Legacy?
Aloha, um, Memphis, the live Memphis album, and what was the other one?
The other
That's
ones
the way
were
it is.
That's the Way It
That's
Is.
the way it is. I don't think there are any more than that,
I think it's just
but
the
I'm not
three.
an expert. See, I don't buy these ones automatically because they're really expensive over here. So the Aloha one I bought because I was able to get it for a good price over here, and the Live in Memphis one, it's still available on the Tower Records Japanese website, but it's about $70, and I've nearly bought it on several occasions, but I haven't quite
You haven't
been
pulled the
excited
trigger.
enough to get it. No, not quite. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw the last I saw the Aloha. I saw it about 2 weeks ago. I think it was up to $80. I'm like,
Wow.
there's this part of me that I just can't pull. I probably will eventually because I have the other two. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see. Let's see. Mark, red, white, Obi is what I have. So Marcus, talking about the Aloha, says he has the black, red, and white Obi is what he has.
Red, white, and black.
Yes.
Black, red, and white. Okay, that sounds like the last one from '75 or later. So if he's talking about, if he has a different track on that, it's probably another song, because they
So,
corrected the version of I Can't Stop Loving You on the second version. He's got the third version by the sounds of it.
so Blast from the Past says, question for David. What's your opinion on the quality of Japanese vinyl? I have a number of Japanese vinyl from various artists, and I find it very quiet, which is what you said earlier. It's very quiet.
Yeah, that's well, as I said before. Yeah, it's the quality of the vinyl itself that's superior, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't see how the actual recording can be any better than, say, an American one, because, like I said before, they're just getting copies of what they issue in America. They get the recordings from RCA, or what was RCA in America. So the recording itself that they have to work with, it can't be better than what they have in America. It's just what they do with it.
That's interesting to know. And I always thought it was interesting that it has Nipper, but it just says Victor. It doesn't say RCA on the black label.
On the Japanese ones.
On the Japanese one, on the older.
Yes, yeah, it's a different company. Yeah.
Now, did they have the Obies even on the ones from the '60s when they originally came out?
They had all the albums from the '60s had an Obi. Yeah. I've never seen an Obi for Something for Everybody or His Hand in Mine. In fact, I haven't seen one for the first pressings of GI Blues either. But I have seen them for Elvis's Back, stereo and mono. So they certainly exist for Elvis's Back. So that suggests that they would also exist for the other early '60s albums. Once you get to 1962, sort of Blue Hawaii onwards, then 100% confirmed they all exist. From the '50s, there's only two that I know exist for sure. The very first ones I've never seen an Obi, and I don't think they exist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we had talked about what we are going to do on this show. So we had talked about, and these great ideas came from you, David. We talked about our 5 favorite album covers. Did you pick your 5?
All right. No, I haven't. I'll have to wing it.
Well, I had to think about mine. I had to put my mind into it. So, if you want, since you don't have if you want me to go first, I can. If you want to crisscross and take turns, or you go.
Yeah, okay, let's do it one by one. Yeah, I'm sure I can think of 5 good ones. You go. You go first.
I got 5. Okay, so I'm going to go from 5 to 1. 5 being, down to 1 for my favorite. So,
do we have to pick? Do we have to pick only albums that were released during his lifetime, or can it be any album?
I actually did. Let's see. Let me double check. I did all mine during his lifetime, but I have an honorable mention. We each get an honorable mention, and that one is not during his lifetime. It's just a cool cover. So, yeah, if you want to do post death, or you want to do ones that came out that you like, because there's a lot of great ones that have come out since he's passed.
Yeah, more than when he was alive, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So number 5 for me is actually one of my least favorite '70s albums, but I've always loved the cover. It's simple, but let's see if I can get this in.
Good time. Oh yeah, good times. That looks like the new version, doesn't it? Is it Friday Music or Music on Vinyl?
This is Friday Music, but this is the Barnes and Noble limited edition. I think blue vinyl. Right. Mm-hmm. So not a huge, it's not a bad album. It's just not one of his better ones, in my opinion. But I love how he's like grabbing his scarf, and it's just such a cool, to me, I think it's a cool cover. I kind of went back and forth with this one. Oh, you go ahead. You have one?
Yeah, I'm reaching around the back. Fortunately, all the records I have are pretty much within arm's reach. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. This is fairly predictable, but see if you can see it there.
It's hard with StreamYard. You know what? It's funny. That's a lot of people's favorite cover.
Yeah, this is actually the album. UK one, so it's not as good on the back, but it's UK first pressing.
Wow, it looks like it's in really nice shape.
It's not bad for such an old album. You were talking about flimsy UK covers.
Yeah.
Well, these HMV ones are also really flimsy, but this one's still in fairly good nick.
That's a nice one.
I'd have to start with that one.
Yeah, so that's your number 5.
Well, it's the first one I've thought of.
Okay, so you don't have to go in any particular order.
Right.
I kind of have a. It's just the way my mind works. So coming in number 4 for me, and number 4 and 3 are almost interchangeable. But and again, it's another simple cover, but I love this cover. Elvis is
Why do
back.
you think they put it upside down? Do you know what I
Is the
mean? So
picture
when,
backwards? Is the original picture? Is this the picture backwards? Oh,
well,
you mean the inside of the album? Well, actually, no.
when you put
This
the,
one, this one is the no. This one is the analog production one, the 2 LP 45 speed.
oh, very nice, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have this one?
No, I'd love to get it, but just the same situation with the legacy albums. They just cost a fortune over here.
Now,
So
I was gonna say I
about
have a
100
couple versions of this. This one sounds by far the best. It sounds like you're in the studio with them.
Mm. Yeah, I'm waiting until a decent copy comes along, on the second-hand market for a good price.
So, kind of wavering a little bit. When you buy your vinyl, do you have a shop there where you get them, or do you get a mail order, or both?
For the past, well, couple of years, I've been buying mostly online because I don't go into Tokyo very much to work. I used to go to Tokyo once a week for work, but with COVID, my work switched to online. So I only get to go to Tokyo. Well, I did a video about it a few months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. That was the first time I'd been to Tokyo for about 2 or 3 years. And I've been once or twice since then. So the place where I live is not very big. There's not many record shops around here. In fact, there's one in the city where I live, and there's another one about an hour away by train. So I don't really get a chance to buy many, in person. So it's basically all online these days.
Wow. I was just
So when
curious.
I do get to Tokyo, I tend to go a bit mad when I do get to Tokyo.
All
But
right.
there's a bad thing happened recently. There was one shop that I did buy from online, and it's a very good shop. They have an online store, and they have physical shops all over the Tokyo area. And unfortunately, the website was hacked. So that was bad for 2 reasons. But firstly, the shop's down now, so I can't buy anything from that online store anymore. And ever since the store was hacked, a lot of my personal data was obviously stolen, and I've been getting tons and tons of junk mail every day ever since that store was hacked.
Oh man, that
Yeah,
stinks.
the only thing is, the only good thing is that they didn't get my credit card number. They got the password, but then it's a unique password. I don't use it for any other sites, so I'm not worried about it. But
Still.
the junk mail is terrible. It's like I'm getting like 10, 12 junk mail messages a day. It's more than I get not normal messages.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. All right, you're up.
Well, Elvis is back. So I wanted to ask you, why do you think, when you put the cover back on your shelf,
Uh-huh.
in order to read the spine, I think you have to turn it upside down.
Well, the original version of this, if I'm not mistaken, it has
It's got
this.
nothing
When
on
you
the
turn
spine,
it
right?
over, this is upside down. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Like where if you notice this, I can't get it right. This, it's the same on the flip. So they did switch it for this
Mm-hmm.
release. Like I said, this is. I think this is all. I think this is 200 gram, and it's just it's phenomenal. It is the most amazing. And they released 3 of them, and I do have all 3. There's this one. There's one called oh, good grief. Now you're gonna let's see. Give me 1 second. 24 karat hits, and that's 3 LPs.
Right. 3, really?
And then there's one called 57 Essential, and that's also 200 gram, all 45 RPMs.
Have you got this one?
That is the other one I got. I just got it. In fact, I did a video of it about 2 weeks ago. I just got it a couple of weeks ago. I was so happy to get it. It's the 2 LP, right? 45.
2 RPM, yeah. 45 RPM, yeah.
No, I haven't listened
That
to it.
one,
How's it sound?
yeah, it sounds amazing. Just like you said about Elvis is back. That is one that I did bite the bullet on. It was on Tower Records, Japanese website, for a lot of money. But I just thought my favorite album. I just have to get it.
It is my number 1 top favorite album of his. I got it I got it. I think I want to say for my 12th birthday. And of course, then it was like the 1977, 78 release with the black label and the Nipper and the RCA block logo. But I played it to death, and
Mm.
almost
I
50
used
years later.
to, my aunt owned a copy, and she gave it to my cousin. So I used to listen to it at their house. So yeah, I've known the album, all the songs on the album for many years.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So yeah, I can't wait to eventually listen to it. From what, like I said, I hear like what you just said. It sounds great.
Mm.
The other three sound great. So I'm sure this one does too. Did you have another one? I see
I
you digging.
do. I'm just looking at it. I think I've got my hand on it. In fact, the conversation about these new release albums just kind of reminded me about this album here. I don't know if you got this one. It's a really nice cover.
Yeah, that's the 24 carats.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. This is the
I think
three LP that you're talking
it's
about,
three
right?
LPs.
All
Yeah,
right, yeah. This is
LPs.
the two LP version.
Oh, that's the two LP. That one's
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I think that one's more rare.
It's older. I can tell you that much. It's got does the three LP like have a number on it at the bottom? It
No,
says
let me pull mine out. Hold on one sec. I think this is. Say, yeah, this is this one, and this is three LPs. No, see, yours is the more rare one because 100% analog master. So I think it's the same. I think it sounds the same, but
yeah.
yours might sound a little bit. I don't know if it sounds better, but yeah, yours is the numbered version, which is harder to
Mm.
find and more expensive. Yeah, I
Oh,
got this.
really?
You can actually still get this on store. I go there all the time. I buy a lot of my vinyl there, but they have all three of these. They have a pretty good selection of Elvis LPs on there.
Yeah, I know the story you mean. I can't remember the name, but I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like analog, something analog.
And
And then,
Love Productions or something like that.
yes, analog production. Here's the other one.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a really good one as well.
Yeah, this one. And a lot of people discounted this one because it's the story behind that one was they found the original master tapes in a bin, and it was marked destroy. And
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen pictures. Yeah, yeah.
back then they would destroy the masters. They wouldn't keep them. Well, somebody, I don't know, probably 20, 25 years ago stumbled across it and said, oh, what are these? And they listened to it. And they're like, oh, my word, what do we got
Mm.
here? And of course, Elvis had already passed. So then they released it, and that's why they call it 57 Essential. But yeah,
Yeah.
sounds really
So many
good.
great tapes. So many great tapes must have been destroyed. All those outtakes from the 50s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then, okay, so do you have another cover, favorite cover?
I think it's your turn. That was my second one, 24
I knew
Carat
that
Hit.
one. Okay, I'll do my third one. And this is like I
24
said,
Carat, no, 24 Carat Hits, that was my number two.
what's that?
24 Carat Hits, that was my
Oh,
number
that's your
two.
number two? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I just thought that was just one you were mentioning. So 4 and 3, Elvis is back in this next one is interchangeable. So it is, I just think that's an iconic cover
Mhm.
from Elvis in Memphis. Love this album. This is a
I always
phenomenal.
like the back cover. I wasn't sure why they used the 1963 picture, but I always like that back cover.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the bonus photo that came with the original, I'm trying to get my hands on that one.
All right, yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know what? That actually came. That photograph also came with the Japanese first pressing.
Oh, it did. You have it?
Yeah, I'll put it out. It's down here somewhere.
Of course you have it. I knew you would.
Oh, there you go. There's the first
So,
Japanese pressing, and there's the bonus picture.
so what's that go for if you were to find it?
I've never seen this one go for. I've never seen this one for sale on an auction site, and I
I've
can't
never
remember
seen
what.
it. I've never seen it either. I didn't realize that the Japanese version had the photo. Because like a lot of the UKs that were the mid '60s and the soundtracks that had the bonus photos. I don't think the UK versions had the photos, did they?
No, UK albums never came with any pictures, as far as I know. I did have a copy of this album without the Obi here, with the picture, but with no Obi, and I sold that one on eBay maybe about 12 months ago, and I think it went for about $80 or $90.
Wow.
The album with the picture, but it didn't have this red and white Obi on it.
Wow. Yeah,
In fact,
I have an opportunity to get that one, the U.S. pressing, but again, it's like $150, and I just I can't pull the trigger on, which is funny because a lot of the FTD LPs, they're going for an insane money, and I've dropped some decent money on them.
Yeah, you've got a full set now, right?
No, I'm too shy.
All right, Blue Hawaii, by any chance?
I do have that one.
You got that one? Okay, yeah.
That was the first one. Standing room only. That's another one that a lot of people don't have. And last week I got the Jungle Room sessions, and I got it.
What are the two you're missing?
The Good Times outtakes and Jailhouse Rock Volume 1.
Okay.
So somebody reached out to me who heard me say on my video that I was missing. At that time, I was missing 4 of them. I was missing Hot August Night and the Jungle Room sessions. So somebody out of the blue emailed me and they said, hey, Mark, my name is Andrew, and a friend of mine told me about your channel. I checked your channel out, and he told me that you were missing these. He goes, which ones do you need? I have most of them. So I told him the ones I needed, and I was in the process of buying. In fact, it was being shipped. That when I talked to him, I said, well, I got the Jungle Room sessions. I should receive it in a couple of days, but I said I need Hot August Night, Good Times, the outtakes, and then Jailhouse Rock Volume 1. So he sold me. I just got it like 2 days ago. I got the, in fact, let's see. So I'm not as quick as you. And it's kind of dark here, which, yeah.
Very colorful spines there.
Yeah, you have to take my word for it. I have it back here, but I received it a day before yesterday.
It's a very colorful rack there.
Yeah.
The LPs behind you, are they all mostly FTDs because they look very colorful?
From here to here is FTD.
Right.
All these are all the FTDs, and like I said, I'm missing those 2, but I am in the process of buying them from him. He's working it out with me where I can send him so much, so I'll have him hopefully in another month or so. I'll have the whole set.
Very good.
And I'm starting to think, I don't know. It's like some people that can't understand it. So I'm thinking about going forward, buying 2 copies of every one that comes out. One to play and one to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all sealed with the exception, I think, of like 2 of them. And everybody's the big conversation that people have is like, should you open them or should you just keep them sealed? So I don't know what to do. Like I said, all of them but 2 of mine are sealed. I have them sealed, and people are like, you enjoy them. That's what their vinyl's meant to be enjoyed. But then you have other people on the other side say, well, yeah, but these FTDs are an investment because they're so over the top expensive. Standing Room Only went on Discogs. I don't know if you ever shop from them. Summer, it sold for over $1,000.
$1,000 for an LP,
yeah.
a new LP, or relatively
sealed.
New. Right?
Now, when I got it about 2 weeks after that one sold. I paid about half that. So that kind of gives you an idea what I still even paid for it.
Still a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it sold. 2 of them sold in 1 weekend off Discogs. One was over $1,000, and the other one was like $880. And they were overseas sellers, but that just shows you the demand for them.
Yeah, I think the reason why those early ones go for so much money is because fewer people knew about them back then.
Yeah,
and people are playing catch up now. So I think after so many albums have been released, people started noticing them for the first time, and the very first albums had been deleted by then. So people are trying to catch up, and that's why they're spending so much money. I think it's quite easy to get the more recent ones for decent prices.
Well, I'd say from like 2016, 17 on, you could still get you're still going to pay 3 times what they were then, but you're not paying like Good Times sessions. I'm not paying this for it, but I've seen it go for $600 and $700 because it's the earlier ones. Jailhouse Rock Volume 1, I've seen that go for $600. So it is really an investment. So it's like to open or not to open. Well, that's the question. So I haven't decided yet. I'm leaning more towards opening them, but who knows?
Is the music different. There's nothing on there that you can't get on the CDs, all right?
I think, in fact, everything that's on the CDs usually
Mm.
there's more on the CDs because you can fit it more
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the disc. So for example, Standing Room Only, I have both the two CD set and I have the album. But the CD, it's got quite a bit more on it. So yeah,
Mm.
so to answer your question, yeah, anything you get on the CDs, you will be on the album. So I know where you're going with this. So I kind of agree with that. So there's another side of me that's tugging, saying, no, leave them sealed. And I've had other people say, yeah, don't open them, leave them sealed. They're worth way more if you leave them sealed. So, and then some people think you're foolish and say, nah, man, albums were meant to be enjoyed. Vinyl is meant to be enjoyed. So I understand that argument too. So,
Mm. Yeah, like you, I understand both sides of it. Yeah, the first time I saw them available in Japan was on this website, and I couldn't believe it. They were all there, all lined up on this web page. But when I looked more closely, nearly all of them had sold out. I think there were about two or three that I managed to get. That's all they had left.
how many do you
Two or
have?
more. I think about five or six, but
They're not,
they're
they're
all
nice.
fairly recent ones.
Oh, the recent ones. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So
but
like you said, if you're late to the game, yeah, it's next to impossible. Like if I was to start it now, you'd
mm,
spend 10 grand probably because
yeah,
there's just so because I think there's what 43 now of them.
yeah, you'd know better than me. Yeah,
I
I
think they're
mean,
at 42 or 43. Kid Galahad was the most recent one.
mhm.
So all right, you're up.
Yeah, okay, so it's up
I'm
to me.
put I'm putting you on the
Uh,
spot.
okay, I'll have to choose this one. It's mainly to do with the music as much as the cover itself, but got to be this one.
You know what? That is an wait a second. Is that also a 45 RPM?
No, it's just a speaker's corner pressing.
Oh, okay. I saw that sticker on the record. How's that sound?
It's still sealed.
You know what's funny, David, and I want your opinion because I've heard other people. I personally like Speaker's Corner. I've heard other people say they're not overly fond of them. I like how they reproduce it exactly like the original. What are your thoughts on it? Have you heard the Speaker's Corner?
I've only got one that I have heard, and it's a copy of A Date with Elvis. I don't know if I can get my hands on it. It's actually what do you call it, like a test pressing.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't sound any better than that, to be honest.
So where'd you get it? A
I got that in Tokyo actually, about going back about 15 years ago.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it's Speaker's Corner. I get confused between. There's quite a few of those labels over there in Europe. There's Music on Vinyl, there's Speaker's Corner, and
Music.
Simply Vinyl.
Simply Vinyl.
Uh,
Friday Music.
yeah, it's not Friday Music. It's not Simply Vinyl. I don't think it's Music on Vinyl. So it must be Speaker's Corner. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it's Speaker's Corner. So it's basically just a sheet of A4 paper with the artwork on, and it's got some notes in English and German about the music, and then the album itself is just a white label test pressing, and it just sounds immaculate.
Wow. I bet that's worth some serious cash.
Yeah, I'm not sure really because it's with it being a modern pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
That
knows?
that's what this is. This is from else. It's I hate these cameras. This is music on vinyl. So,
I think I've
but
got
yeah,
that one as well.
what's that?
I think I have that one as well. Music on
Yeah,
vinyl.
yeah, they have a lot of them. All right, so this next choice for you. This is number two for me. This is right up your alley, and you did a video on this fairly recently. I just think this cover shows the power and the aura of Elvis Presley. This is the Japanese pressing.
Mm.
You just did a video not that long ago on this. I love that back cover.
Yeah, the back cover is different, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And it's got the orange label. This is probably top five of all the albums I have. This might be my top five.
Right.
Absolutely. I can't get this camera. I love this record. Absolutely love this.
Do you know where that picture was taken?
This one?
Yeah, yeah.
I do. It was taken in, I want to say Tampa, Florida in April of 72. I don't know the exact day. I want to say April 14th, maybe.
You see, that's the kind of stuff that I'm not very clued up on. You know, like a lot
Yeah.
of fans will, they know the names of the jumpsuits and they know all the gigs, and
So you had me
I
because
don't know about
I
that.
thought you knew and you were testing me. Yeah, I do know
No,
that
no,
they did
no. I wanted to know. I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't taken at the
Garden.
Madison Square Garden concert.
Well, you know what I always thought was a funny story, David? So, as you know, that was recorded. RCA brought their recording equipment to record the afternoon show and the evening show. And of course, they chose the evening show because I think one, it was shorter. And you may have heard this, the American pressing at least. Tom Parker apparently sped up the release
Mm,
to make it fit even less because the afternoon show is slightly over an hour long and the evening
mm,
show is right around 53, 54 minutes, and then of course he sped it up a little bit. So they rushed it out and it was available 8 days later for sale. 8 days, I think it was 8 days later. And so yeah, if it was June 10th, so June 18th it was released. But what I
mm.
always found funny is they said they used this shot because they didn't have a shot developed yet from that concert at the Garden. Now, I always thought that was odd. Like, okay, you rushed out an album, you mastered it, pressed it,
Yeah,
and got it out
you
in
can
eight
get a
days, but
picture
you couldn't
of
get a picture for the cover.
that. Yeah,
Didn't you find that? Didn't you kind of always find that odd?
Thinking about it now, yeah, it is a bit weird. I mean, how long does it take to, yeah, as you say, develop a picture
Yeah.
and then print the cover?
And it's like, okay, so you used a picture from 2 months prior, which and it's a
Mm.
great shot. I just think that cover that that's oh I remember having that album as a little kid. I actually made a trade with a kid that lived up the street from me who I was friends with. I traded him on some cards or something, and
Right,
he had
right.
a
Good
copy
deal.
of it. I bought the original, like the American pressing of it. This I just got
Uh-huh.
maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I got it online, brand new, mint, never played. But
I
I just
think
always thought that was weird how
I
how
think
they
what it might have been, thinking about it now, it may have been just a safety precaution. Like, I mean, there's nothing they could do about the music, right? Because they couldn't do anything about that because it hadn't been recorded. But at least they could get the covers ready. I guess they did all they could, you know, as much
in
as they could.
preparation.
Pardon?
In
Yeah,
preparation, you mean?
yeah, in preparation. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing they could do about the music, right? So they did everything else. That's just,
No,
I guess.
that's actually a good thought. I didn't think of it that way.
The same thing with the Aloha album, right? Although I guess that was released even more quickly than the Madison Square Garden album. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think that came out at the very beginning of February. It was either like January like 28th or like February 2nd. For some reason, the
Mm-hmm.
February 2nd number rings a bell, and I could be
I know
wrong.
the Japanese one. The
I
Japanese
could be
one
wrong.
came out in January. It came out in January over here, the same month as the concert.
Oh, it did.
Mhm.
Well, I know with a lot of the '60s pressings. Do you subscribe to Scotty's Elvis Presley channel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he does. Of course, he's in the UK, so he
Mm.
does a lot of UK. If he does like an album review, he'll show the American. He's got tons of records. His
Okay.
collection blows me away. But he'll show like the UK version, and he always says, "Well, the US version came out, March of 1962, and the UK version came out 2 months later." I'm like, that's weird. Like, why is that? But he knows
Uh,
this stuff too, just like you do. He really he's got a top great channel. A lot of great channels out there. Yours, his, um, the King's Court. I'm sure you belong to that one.
yeah, yeah.
Last. So there's a lot of great channels out there. I try to promote them as often as I can.
So, by the way, I forgot to mention. I forgot to say congratulations on your 2,000 subs.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah,
saw your
yeah.
post earlier
It is
on.
today. Appreciate that.
What made you? I remember you started at the end of last year. I think it was. I became aware of your videos around about that point. Um, so what made you start a channel? Maybe you've mentioned this on a video. So I apologize, but I haven't heard the
Um,
story.
Seeing like a lot of your guys' channels, like seeing Ed's and seeing Scotty, and um, I've been a, I've been a fan. I think 50 years this year because I was
Mm,
I told this story in my video, how I even got into Elvis. It was actually a possible choice for my top 5 covers, but ended up not going with it. But the second pressing of Elvis's Christmas album, where he's in the with the collar up with the blue suit, and there's the
Yeah.
snowscape in the background. My mom and my grandmother had moved in with us. She was having some health issues, and she moved in with us when I guess I was 7, 6 or 7. But every year for Christmas, my mom would always pull out Elvis's Christmas album.
Mm.
And it was the black label with the white RCA Victor top. And she would always, I probably think she probably had like the 1964 pressing maybe, but that was like a staple for Christmas in my home. And I just loved that album and always liked them. And then I think once he passed away, when he passed away, I was 9, but I think when he passed away, it even took it to a higher level for me. And I just
Mm.
couldn't get enough of his music, and I've been a fan all these years. And I just wanted to, just have a channel. I think it's fun. You meet so many cool people, and
Mm.
I don't know if like yourself and Scotty and um, I've done a couple co-op videos. Do you follow the Elvis on tour guys or
I
Elvis?
saw the video.
I can't remember what their channel. I think it's Elvis back on tour.
Is that the father and son
The father and son.
road that you did? Yeah, yeah. I saw your video with them, and after watching your video, I have seen some of their videos since. Yeah.
So they're really great. I mean, they've traveled all over the country, and they've seen just about every venue that he's ever played in. Now, there's a
Mm.
couple of them they haven't been able to see because they've since been torn down. Like uh,
Right, right.
near here is Philadelphia. Philadelphia from here where I live is about 35, 40 minutes away. And where Elvis had played, I think 4 or 5 times in the 70s, it was called the Philadelphia Spectrum. Well, that got torn down probably 10 years ago. But I remember going there for like a hockey game. And as in their videos, they always say, oh, if you go to the video, there's always like some kind of a plaque or a marker commemorating Elvis's visits there.
All
So
right.
there was one there. So I asked the security guard, I'm like, hey, is there a plaque that talks about Elvis's concerts here? And he said, yeah, you go down this concourse and it's right on this level. So I went there and sure enough, there was a big gold plaque. And it had like an etched picture of him and it showed all the different dates and the concerts that he played.
All
So
right.
a lot of the old stadiums, like I think even the Mid South Coliseum in Memphis, I don't think that's there anymore, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm. It's like famous houses well, not famous houses, but famous people's houses in the UK. They have a blue plaque on the building on the outside.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was to answer your question. That's why I wanted to do it. Show off some of my collection, but really just to celebrate and commemorate Elvis's music. I mean, I'm about as big a fan as there is, but of course
Mm.
we all can say that. I'm sure you say
Yeah.
the same thing. You
No, I
probably
never claimed to be the biggest fan.
what's that?
I never claimed to be the biggest fan. There's always plenty of people who want
Yeah,
more than I do.
that's very subjective. When people say I'm the biggest fan there is, so I'll never say I'm the big. I'll just say I'm a huge fan.
Right.
And you probably have more vinyl than I do.
I don't know. At the last count, I actually did.
You did an
As
inventory.
I did. I did. Yeah. Sounds quite sad, but the reason why I did it was because I had this idea to go through every record in my record collection. Actually listen to them. Because if you buy a lot, sometimes you just don't get around to playing some of them. So I thought I wanted to rectify that. So yeah, I made an inventory of all the records that I had, and came up with a system of going through them one by one, listening to them. I'm
Wow.
still way behind. I've still got hundreds to listen to.
So how many would you estimate that you have
It's not that many. It's about 1,200.
of just Elvis or just records?
Just records, yeah. But I would say that about 1,000 of those are Elvis.
Oh my word!
Not
Yeah,
not 900. But
you
a
get
lot of those are singles as well. A lot of singles.
like 45s and EPs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There must be I must have a couple of hundred singles and EPs.
Wow. Well, how long have you been collecting? I've been collecting just about 4 years. How long have you been collecting?
Well, I was thinking about this last night actually. Well, a couple of days ago when I was filming a video. It would be about 20 years now. Coming up to 20 years. I had a collection originally in the 70s and 80s, right through the 80s, and I sold it around about 1990. You know, I was moving around a lot, and I got tired of taking boxes of records everywhere with me. So I sold most of them and switched to CD. And then when I moved, I
The
moved in with
vinyl kicks.
my wife had a record collection, and I started looking through her record collection, and I realized that I missed having records. So that's when I started buying them again.
To me,
About 20 years ago.
vinyl just sounds warm. I mean, that sounds. I know it sounds kind of kooky, but to me, there's just nothing better than opening it up, putting that on the platter, and just dropping the needle. It just sounds warm. It just sounds different than CD.
Hmm.
And it's ironic because CDs and cassettes killed vinyl back in the early '80s, and now
Right.
vinyl has killed. You know what I mean? It was like the circle of life. Like it came back and wiped out. And CDs are still sold, but there's a lot of places anymore don't even sell CDs.
Yeah, the CD's still popular here. CDs
Really?
still sell well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The vinyl thing in Japan is very much a collector's thing.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, we
CD,
have.
even CD singles. Do people
What's
buy
that?
CD? Do people buy CD singles in America anymore?
Not that I'm aware of. I know they
One of
used
those
to.
little 3-inch things.
Here back in the '90s, they used to have CD singles. And then for
Mm.
a while, they had these CDs that were about this big, and you'd buy an adapter for it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's
you
it.
pop
Yeah,
it in there. But they don't have them anymore either.
yeah, the CD singles they still sell over here.
Wow. I'll have to come visit, David.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
take you around the shops in
yeah.
Tokyo.
Oh man, I'd love it.
You could spend
Uh,
a week easily looking around record shops in Tokyo because it's so big.
yeah.
You know, you got one neighborhood, and that's like one day just looking around all the record shops in that neighborhood. And you get on a train, go to another neighborhood, that could be like the next day. You know.
Well, it's funny. If I had the records that you had, my wife would kill me because because I had this, and then up in our bedroom, in the one corner of our room, I have a massive. I mean, I have boxes and the cases of them, and
Right.
each one of them holds 75 plus. Then I have them stacked on top of that. And every time I get a new record, my wife's like, "So where are you going to put that?" I'm like, "I know, babe. I'm sorry." So I'm literally running out of room. So I've thought about kind of taking the gas off the pedal, so to speak, with vinyl and start concentrating more. I'd like to get more of the FTD CDs. Do you have many of them?
Only have a few of those. You know, those 7-inch ones.
Yes.
I've got 3 or 4 of those, but they're just the albums that I really like the best. Like 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. I've got that one. Something for Everybody. I've got that one. Another couple as well.
The
Yeah, just when they come up, I'll buy them. If they come along cheaper, then I'll grab them.
Yeah. Now, can you get the FTD CDs in Japan?
Oh yeah, yeah. But like all imports, they're really expensive.
That's the
So I
shame.
don't.
That's the shame of it.
Yeah, I only have there's 2 problems with FTDs. One is they're expensive, and the other thing is um, because they're made of those cardboard covers. Often the inside of the covers get a little bit. They start to turn yellow because of the humidity here.
Oh wow.
I bought quite a few FTD, you know, the little digipack things,
Yeah.
a few years ago, and they were really very, very cheap. I got a good deal on the set, but when I actually looked inside the digipack covers, a lot of them were starting to turn yellow with the humidity.
Oh wow.
It's the
Yeah.
problem you get with the LPs as well, with the LP covers.
Yeah.
All the gatefold covers and nice 70s gatefold covers. They look great, but very often when you open them up, there's a lot of discoloration on there. It's just the humidity from the climate.
Wow. Yeah.
After they got thermal.
It always amazes me when you hear because I belong to several Facebook pages that for Elvis, and it always amazes me when people like either show a picture. The other night, a guy showed a picture. He has every single. He said I needed one more, and I finally got it today. He has every single FTDC. That blows me away because there's like 180 of them,
Hmm.
and each one's like $30.
Yeah, well, I guess if you've been collecting them from day one, it doesn't seem like much of an outlay. Just buying one every 3 or 4 months. But
But
that's a
some,
lot, isn't it?
oh man, and some of those older ones, man, they command big money.
Hmm.
The what's the one? What's the 81 documentary that came? This is Elvis.
Oh
The
yeah, this is
hey,
Elvis. Yeah, yeah,
that goes for like $250 if you find it.
yeah. Yeah. I regret not buying that one actually, because I like that soundtrack a lot.
I have it on vinyl, but
Mhm.
and then the Tickle Me soundtrack on FTD, the CD, that goes for like 150, $175.
The what soundtrack?
Tickle Me, the Tickle Me soundtrack on the FTD CD.
Why am I not hearing you?
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you, but I'm not picking up what you're saying. The what
Oh,
soundtrack?
okay. Tickle Me,
What's Tickle Me?
Tickle Me, like tickle, tickle,
Oh,
tickle,
Tickle
tickle.
Me, Tickle Me, Tickle Me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Okay.
David, surely you've heard of Tickle Me. Yeah, the CD, the FTD CD of that release,
Uh-huh.
copy goes for upwards of 150 to $200, and I don't know why.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure because I guess the music's it's all been released before, hasn't it?
Well, they released it on the FTD LP last year. They
Mm.
released it. Do you have that one?
Yeah, that's one that I've managed to pick up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a pretty decent.
I have the Castle music one as well, actually.
I want to get.
Um,
I have a number of the Castle Music, but I don't have that one. That one goes for pretty top dollar.
yeah, I can't quite get my. Here it is. Yeah, I've got it here.
Wow, how long you had that one?
About 3 or 4 months.
Where'd you get it?
I got it in Japan actually on an auction site.
I hate to ask, what'd you pay for it?
It was about maybe it was about $30, something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. It's sealed.
Oh, it's still sealed.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. All right.
I
Number one.
believe it's got like a little coloring sheet on the inside. Have you ever seen that?
No. Yeah, I had the Blue Hawaii one, King Creole, Loving You, GI Blues, and that's the one I'm missing is Tickle Me. I don't have that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you haven't, I was going to ask you how it sounds, but you haven't opened it.
um, the songs are very similar to the FTD version, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. All right. So, ready for your number one?
Is it my turn for the next one? Oh, okay, yeah, actually, I do have
Yeah,
one
you're
here.
number two. So you still have two more to do. I just have one more to do.
I do have one that I can show you here. All right. This is Golden Wrinkles, which is a great cover anyway.
Yeah, it's classic.
But have you seen this one?
Oh wow, is that the Japanese version?
No, this is the UK version.
Wow, it
And,
looks like it's in really nice condition.
there's this red or maroon colored label.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Was that common for that time period?
You mean the record itself or the
Yeah,
label?
the label.
The label, no, because they only use that red label for classical releases. And this one here, the inside will be very familiar to you.
Oh, the Elvis's Christmas album.
Yeah, right. So we didn't get the photos in the English Christmas album. They saved them for this album here,
No,
Golden
no,
Record.
no. Let me ask you. You probably be better schooled on this than I would. When and I actually didn't know this until about 6 months ago. So the American, when Elvis's Christmas album came out in '57, it was that cover with the red cover with the packages and his picture in the center. That only came out that first year, and it was like a seasonal thing.
Like a what?
And it was like a seasonal thing, like it was just for that year.
Right, right.
Well, then the following year, from like 58 up until I want to say 68, 67 or 68, it had the other cover with the blue and the snow in the background.
Right, yeah.
So in the UK, which version came out in '57? Was it the one with the '57 picture?
No,
Because
it's a completely different picture on the front.
I think I know which one you're going to show me.
I have this
Yes.
picture on the front, yeah.
Yep.
This is not a '57 one, but it's the same picture. They used that picture right until 1969. The first orange label pressings also had this cover. That's what it looks like on the back. The original one had one or
The
two
silver,
photos, I think.
and it
Photographs on the back.
had the silver spot label, right?
This is
Initially.
yeah. I don't. This is. I think it's a black one. Yeah. I think this is from '61. This one, from memory.
Wow, looks like it's in good shape.
It's not bad. Yeah. I'll pull it out so I can confirm it. So yeah, they used this cover for a long time. Yeah, it's from '61.
Oh wow.
The label.
Have you had that a while?
Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah, I bought quite a lot of UK stuff from mainly Discogs actually. From I would say up until about 5 years ago, I was buying a lot on Discogs, UK stuff. Yeah, that's what I got it from. Yeah,
No,
I've got a couple of other ones as well.
the only problem I like Discogs, and I've gotten some really. In fact, about a month ago, I bought a mint '63. I think it was a mono version of Elvis's Golden Records Volume 3. Phenomenal condition. And I only paid, he only charged me, I think it was like $45, and it was immaculate. It had the original inner sleeve and everything. I did a video on it. And but the only thing I don't like about Discogs is you can't see the picture of it. And a lot of times they'll advertise it as like an older version, and you get it. It's like a 77 repress. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't know what you're getting.
You've got to find out. Ask questions first.
Oh, I do. I learned my lesson. It happened to me one time, and I started saying, okay, can you send me pictures? Does it have the original inner sleeve? Is it the actual pressing that you say it is? But that only happened to me once because I buy quite a bit from Discogs. And I usually have really good luck.
But even that doesn't always work. And I'll show you one of my disappointments from.
I saw your video where you had one good thing and then one disappointment.
Yeah.
You shot it.
This one I didn't show in that video. It's the Christmas album from the UK. If I can find it. And the Camden Christmas album.
Yes.
Here we go. There we go. This is a UK one, and you can see it says international up here.
Yeah.
Over here, RCA International.
Yeah.
And it should have had like, a completely laminated cover, like front and back, glossy cover. And it should have had a made in the UK record. But when I got it, it's not laminated on the back, and it's an American record on the inside. And I confirmed all this before I bought it with the seller, and then he sent me this one, and I said, "What happened to the record I ordered?" He said, "Well, we sold that one, so I sent you that one instead."
Wow.
Unbelievable. So I got a little bit of money back from him, but there's no point in sending it back because they always say, "Oh, we'll take it back, but you've got to pay the return postage."
Well, and the other thing I don't like about Discogs, and you probably already know this, they don't have like a money back guarantee or any type of guarantee. They say, and they tell you that the disclaimer says it's between you and the seller. Where eBay or another website, there's a money back guarantee if it arrives, whatever. But Discogs, it's between you and the seller, and I don't like that.
Well, you can get if you pay by PayPal, you can get your money back if you open a PayPal dispute.
Yeah,
I do have another problem with another seller, and I tried to do it the polite way, the civilized way. I said, "Look, I'm not happy. Can you give me a little bit of money back?" And he was like, "No." So I opened a PayPal dispute, and I think they asked me what I wanted to do, and then they gave me some or all of the money back. And then I just wrote back to the guy and said, "Look, we could have avoided all this hassle if you just give me a refund like I asked." But yeah, I got my money back.
I mean, I probably buy 75% of my stuff from eBay because I always check the seller rating. I check the photos. And like I said, if I'm still not clear about it, I'm not shy about asking.
Oh yeah, you've got to do,
yeah. So I'm just getting caught up on some of these comments.
Oh yeah, please read through the comments. Yeah, I'd love to hear them.
So guys, I apologize for those that are watching. I've been trying to get Tickle Me FTD, and it's expensive. Michael Johnson says, I've been trying to get Tickle Me from FTD. I think you can get it on store.graceland.com, Michael. And it's still available. Last I
Or maybe
checked.
the Elvis Shop London.
Elvis Shop of London. I buy a lot from him too. The only thing, if you've ever bought from him, David, the only thing about it, it's not Chris's fault, the owner. The shipping is, for whatever reason, in the last 6 months, it's like tripled.
Yeah, it's
Like
because of COVID and Ukraine.
yeah, you'll pay like $30 to have an album shipped. I'm like, so I've been a little. But what I like about Chris, if you've ever bought from him, he also includes a like a bonus card with the release, and actually he's going to get a limited number of the Elvis on tour set, and he's including 8 lobby cards, which I think is super cool.
Very nice.
Let's see.
The only thing I didn't like about, I did try to order from them many years ago, and I was buying singles at the time, and they had a really good selection of UK singles for reasonable prices. But they don't tell you what the shipping is until you've committed to buy.
I know.
I didn't want to do that because I wasn't sure how much the shipping was going to be, so I left it.
Yeah, I mean, see, for me, it's kind of twofold because mostly if you buy from him, and there's another place called Bear Family. You ever bought from
Oh
them?
yeah. They're in
And
Germany, right?
Germany, yeah.
Mm.
And what's nice about Elvis Shop of London and uh, Bear Family
Yeah.
is if something here in the U.S. is supposed to be released, I don't know, November 15th, they get it like 6 weeks before,
Mm.
and you have your copy before anybody in the United States has it. So I
Those
don't
are,
know.
those are records made in Europe, though, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
FTD. Yeah.
yeah. The FTD, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're making made in Denmark. If I'm not, I could be wrong about that.
Mm. Well,
Um,
yeah. I think it just says made in the EU on the artwork.
yeah,
But I also have this impression that they're made in Denmark for some reason.
yeah. I know I read that somewhere, but I think you're right. It does say made in EU, but I think they're actually made in like printed and pressed in Denmark. But that's probably why.
Mm.
But yeah, if I get something from Chris, I'll get it 6 to 8 weeks before. In fact, just to show you, I've had my Kid Galahad. I bought that from him. I've
Mm.
had it for like almost 2 months, and Elvis Shop Elvis in America, they still haven't released it yet. They're still on,
Oh, really?
they're still getting, yeah. Ed from King's Court, he's still waiting on his Kid Galahad. And his wife bought it like 2 months ago. She pre-ordered it like 2 months ago. I'm not
Mm.
patient. I want it right away. So another good ones are the if you've ever gotten them, the FTD, the sessions sets.
Well, I've seen them. They look very appealing. Yeah, I know the ones you mean. But
Again, the
like
price.
same problem. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, those ones don't even make it over here. I think um, the standard releases, like the back in Nashville, was it, and then
Hmm.
um, the 71 sessions. I forget what the title of the box set was. Was it back
Uh,
in Nashville? Something like that.
oh, the American Sound Studio sessions.
No, the 71 sessions with the Christmas songs on.
Oh, are you talking about this is a legacy. You
Yeah,
talking
that's the one.
about
Yeah, yeah. What's that called again? Back in
Elvis
Nashville.
back
Yeah,
in Nashville?
yeah. And then there was another one, wasn't there, released the year
There
before
was
that,
one that came last year.
from the 1970 sessions. Well,
Yes.
those ones they did release here actually.
Well, yeah, what's the other one called?
I've got
It
it down here.
escapes me.
From Elvis in Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got I got it on vinyl. I got it on black vinyl, and then I got it on the Graceland exclusive with the colored vinyl. And
Oh yeah.
I think that one came in like an aqua, and the other one came in like orange and blue. So they're real nice too. But they get it for insane money. They're only available on the website for like 2 weeks, and they sell out. They only print a certain number of them, and they go on eBay for like $150. It's insane.
Funny how there seems to be more of an interest in newer pressings than the originals these days.
It seems that way. It seems that way. Um, yeah, so I apologize, guys, for not. The thing that I don't like about StreamYard that we're on, like when you do YouTube Live, you know how the comments scroll. This
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
So if you don't keep up,
yeah. Please take a minute and read some of the questions there, if there are any questions. Or
How you
come.
doing, Dave? You got a little bit more time, or you got to go
I'm
somewhere?
fine. It's only 1 o'clock here. I'm a bit worried about you though. It must be what, midnight now, right?
It is, but I'm good for at least another 15 to 30 if you're fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Shipping, outrageous shipping. Yeah, a lot of them are just comments, repeating what we said about Discogs and the ridiculous price on UK shipping.
It's not just the UK. Shipping from here is also expensive now.
Well, it's funny because when I got that album from you, and this isn't any bearing on you, you have to charge that. But like I think the shipping was as much as the record.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
more
don't
than
want
the
it.
record. Yeah, yeah.
When I saw you
I
had
hate doing that.
what's that?
I hate to, I hate having to charge that, but that's what it costs.
You got to do it. You got to do
Right.
it.
It's funny 'cause
I
some
was thrilled to
some
get that.
countries, I can send to very cheaply from here, like Sweden, Switzerland, countries like that, Denmark. But France, the UK, Germany, and the US, these are countries that, where a lot of people will, there are a lot of Elvis fans in those countries. Very expensive. Australia, another one, very expensive. Canada, there's no shipping at all to Canada from Japan.
Really?
Yeah. Hmm.
I've never heard of that.
It's only because of, well, COVID, basically, and then recently
Oh, you mean?
um,
Oh, I
Ukraine
thought
as
you
well.
meant no shipping charge. You mean there's no shipping period? You can't
Not
do.
shipping at all. No. No.
Oh, when you said there's no shipping, I was like, it's free.
I will.
Over my head, David.
No, bad, not well explained. Sorry. Yeah, no shipping services.
All right, so I'm going to show you my number one cover, and
Mm.
maybe it'll surprise you, maybe it won't. But I think it's a fantastic shot, and this is the UK first pressing, I do believe. That is Girls, Girls, Girls.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I know that one.
the silver. I just love that cover. I don't know
Mm.
why. I think it's a great shot of him.
They're
The
also something about those laminated covers as well. They're really that laminated surface. It really brings out the vibrancy in the
luster,
colors. Isn't it?
the luster in the color. Yeah, they seem
Yeah,
bright
yeah.
in the U.S.
Hmm.
The one thing I've noticed when looking at a lot of these, though, David, is I've noticed like if it's an older, like they separate. The laminate separates and they bubble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
It's
run? Do
true.
you have you ran into that a lot?
Yeah, quite. I've got quite a few albums that are like that. Yeah, but the funny thing is the Japanese must have found another way of making those covers because the Japanese covers don't bubble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, that Elvis is recorded at Madison Square Garden. I got that like a month or so ago. I it's just to me it's a stunning album. The
Mm.
artwork and that back cover photo and um, yeah, I'm with you. I got so much it's hard to be able to listen to it all.
So shall I choose another one?
Yeah, yeah, you're up.
All right. I could probably pick practically anything from the 50s or 60s, really, and make a case for it. Let's see what else we've got in here. All right, yeah, this is one I really like. For its time, this was a very good cover.
That's a popular one. I am
Yeah.
sad. I am ashamed to say. Now, is that a first pressing?
No, 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 no. This is actually a music on vinyl pressing,
Oh, okay.
and it has the proper gatefold.
How does that one sound?
It's really good. It's on blue vinyl, but it sounds really good. It's in mono, thankfully.
What's your opinion on colored vinyl as far as sound?
I don't think there's really a problem with it.
Okay.
Picture discs are a different matter, but I think colored vinyl sounds okay. I mean, they were releasing records on colored vinyl in Japan in the 1960s.
Really?
Well, yeah, yeah. So if you buy like the Beatles records, for example, they were made by Toshiba, and the label was I forget the name of the label now, Odeon maybe, the record label. But their records are actually red. Let's see if I can find one for you. Here we go. And these sound great, by the way. This is an old '60s album.
And that's a Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese pressing. I'll just hold this record up to the light so you can see it. Can you see it's red?
It's almost like a burgundy.
Yeah,
Burgundy.
yeah, it's like deep, yeah, like a wine red. Yeah,
I
I can get
like
the
that.
light on it. Might be able to see it
And
better.
that's an original pressing.
Um, I'm not sure if it's the very first one, but it's certainly a
An early
'60s
one.
one. Yeah. And they carried on. They made records like this into the '70s. With that record company.
Now,
But they did black ones as well.
how do they sound?
They find they sound really good.
Really?
Because like old Elvis records are all scratched up and beaten up.
Yeah.
So this one's got a lot of marks on it too. Like scuffing and that, but it sounds really, really good.
Really?
They're really well made. And this record company, in fact, if I can show you this is a really interesting thing.
Here. Slide it in there.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but this cover here, it's all laminated like the Victor covers that the Elvis records came in.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was made by Toshiba, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up, but right at the back of the cover, just next to the spine on the inside, there's like a wooden rod.
Really?
And yeah, it stops the spine getting damaged. So the spine is actually really flat. It's not, so it's standing up. It's upright.
That's
it doesn't squash. Yeah, it doesn't squash, and you don't get any splits on the spine. So all the records that company made, Toshiba, in the '60s, they're all like that. If you look inside the covers, they've got this little wooden rod.
Now, is the sleeve itself kind of flimsy still?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the Victor ones. It's
which
laminated on both sides.
Which doesn't make sense. But it doesn't make sense. Like you have this flimsy, but you have this reinforced part in the back of the spine.
Yeah,
it's like building a monster car and putting a little engine in it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, the extra expense, and you got to put the rod at the back of the cover.
Yeah,
but they really do work.
No, I know they do. They seem like they do. Okay, so what was your number one?
Have I got one more to go? All right.
Yeah, one more.
Let's see what I can find. Let's pick a cover. Pick a cover, any cover. Oh, this is a nice one. I like this one. A lot of good memories of this album.
That is a great cover. It's a great picture.
I love the lettering on this cover, and the colors as well. The different shades of blue. Really nice cover, and of course you get all the photos on the back as well.
It looks like that's in really nice condition.
This is a UK one from 1960.
Wow, how long have you had that one? A long time too.
Yeah, I've had this a few years now. Yeah, I think I probably bought this one on eBay a few years back.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth with my eBay / Discogs. I don't know if you know anything about this, or what your opinion on it is. Scotty, from Scotty's Elvis Presley music channel, he did a couple of videos called, I think the video is called Back in Black or something like that. But it was German black label 80s repressings that they did. Do you have any of that?
Yeah, I've got quite a few of them. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5.
And he said they sound phenomenal. He said he thinks they sound, in his opinion, they sound better than the originals. Would you agree with that?
I've never sat down and compared the two, but when I have listened to them, yeah, they do sound impressive. There's another guy on eBay, on YouTube. Have you ever seen any videos by what's his name, MJL3764?
No.
He's an English guy, and he does well, he shows his record collection. He does it like one album at a time, because he has like multiple pressings of the same album, and he's also a big fan of those black label ones.
Oh, he's a fan of them too.
Yeah. So check him out if you haven't seen his videos. MJL3764.
Okay, I will. MJ. Okay. Yeah, I any Elvis channel out there, I figure this is like a community. Like, I'm not out to compete with anybody. I'm not out to outdo or like I want to do my own thing. But I think my personal opinion is we all got to support each other.
Absolutely. We must know. We must know each other. Like, you know, each of our channels must get recommended to the others.
Oh yeah. And I think what I like about it is like everybody's channel to me is unique. Like
Mm,
yours, you don't do just Japanese, but you do a lot of it. And I've learned so much in watching your videos stuff. And even tonight talking to you, I've learned so much stuff. Like
it's
the
good to
rod
know.
in the back of the just to protect the spine. I never knew that.
Mad, isn't
I never knew until tonight when you said how they put "I Can't Stop Loving You" on the first Japanese pressing of Aloha. Never knew
it?
that. So you learn things. But Scotty, he gives a really good and his editing, his Through His Eyes series, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, he's got very good with editing. Yeah.
And then, which is funny because if you watch him when he started out, he didn't show his face at all. He would
Yeah, I
just show
remember.
his
Yeah.
albums, and then he finally, I guess, got the the nerve to get in front of the camera. What's cool about Ed and the King's Court is you're talking about somebody who's actually Elvis kissed him on the forehead, and his mom's
hmm
got they've been to hundreds of shows and gotten scarves, and they knew Ed Banja and just so much cool stuff, um,
Yeah, he's got a lot of unique stories to tell. Yeah.
and some of the stuff that he owns is just the King's Court, the buttons and all that. It's just but everybody brings their own. And Elvis Lass, I can never remember where she's from, but she brings like so much enthusiasm, and it's just really a lot of great channels out there. I was going to ask you something. Wait, was that your? Did you show your number one yet?
GI Blues. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, the mine's the first thing to go, David. um, now,
Speaking of GI Blues, do you mind if I show you Amazon Japan's latest attempt to sell CDs?
not.
You
Oh
see
wow,
that?
yeah.
So right here, you've got a GI Blues CD. It's a Japanese CD,
Uh huh.
and then behind it there, you've got what they call in Japanese a mega jacket, and that means mega jacket, right? Taken from the English words mega jacket. It's about 10 inches square, maybe not quite 10 inches square. Um, Plastic. Sadly, it's blank on the back, so it's like a little plastic sheet.
I've never
I just
seen
got
that
this.
before. Is that the
I
only
just
one
got
you
this.
got?
Pardon?
Is that the only one you have?
Yeah, because they sold out. They did about 10 or 12, like, big albums like the Sun Collection, Golden Records, Blue Hawaii, some big albums. And I only found out about it a few days ago. I went onto Amazon Japan, and the only one that I had left was J Blues, so I got it while I had the chance. This is just
So
this
what'd
white
you end
paper
up?
is just masking tape.
What'd you pay for it?
This cost 1,000 yen plus tax, so 1,100 yen, which is about $8
Really? That's awesome. That's a great price.
for a new CD with a plastic mega
Yeah,
jacket.
I wonder how hard it'll be for me to find one here in like looking on Amazon Japan maybe and seeing if it's there.
Well, when I bought this one, they had 2 copies left, and I got one of them, so it's probably going to be sold
Oh
out
wow.
now. But, I can give you the catalog number if you want to search for it on Amazon Japan.
Yeah.
Well, I can send it to you later anyway.
Yeah, send it to me. Because
Yeah.
we have our email. Yeah, I would love to at least get one of them. So I got to ask you, what is your favorite soundtrack? I'm guessing GI Blues.
No, it's not. J Blues is one of my favorites, but my favorite is King Creole.
Okay.
Hmm.
King Creole was probably number two for me.
So what's number one?
You don't want to guess?
Um, Maybe I've heard you talking about this before. Is it Fun in Acapulco?
No. Close.
No.
Unacapulco's in my top five. My favorite's Blue Hawaii.
I was going to say that next.
Um, for me, I've said this in my videos. To me, Elvis was at his absolute peak vocally as far as his
Mm.
range. His range was unbelievable from 1960 through early 1963. His vocals were unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
I agree. I just love the sound of his voice as well at that point.
now a lot of people love there's the argument of, what era is it? 50s Elvis, 60s Elvis, 70s Elvis. So for me, it's 60s, then 70s, and then 50s are probably my least favorite.
Mm.
Only because for me in the 50s, and it didn't last long. Like the Sun Records period, and then 56 when he first came out, you could start hearing his voice, him coming into his own late
Mm.
57. But I'm with you, man. King Creole vocally, it was just so raw and just so, oh man. King Creole is phenomenal. I stream that. If I'm downstairs in my office working, because I work from home, I'll stream King Creole all the time. It is phenomenal, start to finish.
Yeah, the movie's great too.
Yeah, the movie is absolutely phenomenal. I love King Creole. Um, so as far as content and the way he uses his voice, I would probably rank King Creole above Blue Hawaii, but just his vocals in Blue Hawaii it's unmatched, man. That
Mm.
whole period, GI Blues, Elvis is back, Something for Everybody. I even love Pot Luck is actually one of my favorite albums. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, me too. Me too.
I think he's
Yeah,
so good.
all that period, yeah, 60 to 62, 3, yeah. I love all that stuff.
Yeah. So let's see comments here. My eyes are starting to. Could be Michael not. Oh, I think they're talking amongst themselves.
That happens.
um, did you see the movie?
No, haven't seen it. No,
Gonna say it?
doubt it. Doubt it. I doubt it. Mm.
I have a feeling you kind of feel the same way I do.
What, and how's that?
Well, I didn't go hog wild over it the way a lot of people did, and I'm not being critical. I've said this, and I did a live stream about a week ago, and I mentioned this. There were parts of it I thought were done so well,
Mm.
and there were other parts of it that I just did not care for, and I just for all the build up that I heard and the hype, and they hyped the daylights out of this movie. I left the theater feeling a little flat, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
really? Mm. What were some of the bits that you didn't like?
Yeah. So I'll tell you the things I did like. The Hilton, or actually the International, which later was the Hilton. The way they did that, and the sequences of him on stage it blew me away. And I don't think they could have gotten anybody better than Austin Butler. He did a phenomenal job.
Mm.
Um, and at the end was very almost a tearjerker. So at the end, it had Elvis at the piano doing good grief, I can't think of the name of the song. He's at the piano, and it was in '77, in June of '77, one of his last concerts.
Mm.
Uh,
Unchained Melody, is that it?
yes, Unchained Melody. I don't know why I can never think of that song. He's doing Unchained Melody. So they had show Austin Butler on the full makeup because they had to make his face heavier and everything.
Mm.
And then it segues into actually Elvis doing it.
Oh, okay.
And that's how the movie ended. And they showed like scenes of Elvis in concert. And I tell you what, man, it was like, man, it was emotional. It was just, I got like this chill down my spine. The
Mm.
way the director did that was just, it was top notch. But it was the way they almost depicted Elvis to me. And I belong to a couple of channels of relatives of Elvis on YouTube, and they felt the same exact way. They felt that the way they depicted Gladys Presley, they almost made her out to be like a mean drunk almost.
Mm.
And she was a very religious person. She was very protective of Elvis, but they just made her out, and they made Elvis almost like melancholy, if that makes sense. Like they
Yeah.
didn't touch on any. One of the things I always loved about Elvis was his generous spirit. He was very giving. He was like that his whole life. There's stories, books and books about his generosity. He was he was a humanitarian. The Aloha concert was for I can't think of his name, but it was for he had cancer, and the proceeds of that show went to that. when he appeared there in March of '61, it was to help build the USS Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor, and
Mm,
he gave to like dozens of charities. They didn't touch on that what one bit, and that kind of disappointed me. And
mm,
there's one scene where he was like in like almost like a stupor, and his eyes are rolling back his head. And he's like berating Colonel Parker, who was at the Hilton in the crowd, and cursing him out, and that never happened. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of left the theater feeling a little bit flat. And again, I don't knock anybody who loves it. And it was entertaining. I will say that it was
right,
entertaining.
right.
The music was good, but so I ask you, why don't you want to say it?
Mm.
You want to keep your opinion to yourself?
Well, probably best to stay away from politics, I think.
Yeah. No, I respect that. And each his own, and that's the thing. Like I would never knock anybody who, you know, thought it was the greatest movie ever, or that it deserves an Oscar and all that. But it's just for me and what I know about Elvis and how much I love Elvis and his music. It just, I don't know. It didn't resonate with me the way I hoped it would.
Mm. I just think certain aspects of the film are gonna wind me up. So I might one day watch the DVD, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
it's not showing anywhere near where I live, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go
you're
to
not,
Tokyo.
you're not going to go out of your way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not even sure. I know it comes out on Blu-ray and 4K and DVD. I think in like another 2 weeks, but I I'll eventually own it. But I'm in no rush to go out and snap it up.
Hmm.
So that's my take on that. And
Yeah.
I'll keep my opinion short and brief, but maybe I said even too much.
Have you got anything interesting coming in?
What's that?
Have you got anything interesting coming in the mail?
Uh yes. I there's a guy who I've been buying from for the last probably 6 weeks or so, who's selling off a massive amount of his collection on eBay, and I've snapped up quite a bit of it. But tomorrow I have a orange label first press of Good Times coming in,
Mm.
and then I bought something else from him too. It's an EP. I think it's an EP from '56.
All right.
Near mint condition, and I got that for a pretty nice price too. Um, that's really about it. Like I said, there's a part of me that wants to kind of back off a little bit from vinyl, but man, it's addicting.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of limited for space, so that's part of the reason why sometimes you'll see me on eBay. Making space.
Well, I was thrilled to get that fun at Acapulco from you. Um,
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah.
so yeah, I'll keep an eye out on your eBay page, and if you have anything more that that you're looking to, or you can email me and say, "Hey, Mark, I got this," because I usually buy anything that's at least near mint or mint
Mm-hmm.
minus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you buy anything from that era that's sealed, you're going to pay a few $100s for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Japanese records were never sealed anyway, but so you'll never find if you ever do find a sealed Japanese LP, you'll know it wasn't released that way.
Yeah. Or well, I did a video, and you may have seen it, where I got a harem scarum,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it was
I was
sealed.
watching that. I was shouting at the camera. He's not. He wasn't sealed originally. But of
Yeah,
course, you learned that in the end.
and several people said no, Mark, it wasn't sealed. And actually, Robert, there's a gentleman. The name of his channel escapes me. He's a dealer too, and Elvis, all things Elvis. But he even said that probably what happened was because it was in
Mm,
perfect condition. You could tell it was a first press. It was a red spot label and everything, but
mm,
it was flawless. But if you remember watching it, because it had been in there for 50 plus years, the round part of the center was kind of stuck to the label.
oh,
And
you mean
look
the
at that.
inner sleeve
Yeah, the
on the
sleeve and the
top?
inner
Yeah.
sleeve. But it was an immaculate unplayed condition. But Robert had mentioned that he thinks what happened was is somebody in the U.S. maybe had bought it and they sealed it themselves to try to sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sounds
it's.
like it.
How about you? You have your eyes on. Are you going to get the Elvis on tour set?
Um, if it comes along for the right price, yeah.
You're like
It's,
me. You're like
well,
me.
well, the thing is, it's a BMG, not BMG, it's Sony now, isn't it? It's a Sony release, presumably. So what tends to happen in Japan is those releases tend to come down a little bit in price after a year or so, 18 months. So I'll probably
Wait.
I've got quite a few good record store day bargains in the past from just from waiting a few months. You know, like final copies that didn't sell out, and I've managed to get them for good prices. Probably still only about the same as I would have paid had I been in Europe. So that's what happens with the Sony official releases. They tend to come down in price.
It's funny how
So
you hear. It's funny how you hear different opinions about stuff because I've heard people say that they think the legacy LP sets don't sound that good, and I don't find a problem with them.
no, me neither. Yeah.
Um, so here's my one honorable mention.
Okay.
I wanted to show you this one. Do you get before I even show you? Do you buy any of the French, the VPI labels?
I don't have any now. I had a few, but I'll let them go.
You did really?
Yeah.
I oh, this isn't it. This isn't it. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. Man, give me a second, David. Sorry.
Is it the box set?
No. It's an LP.
That box set looks really nice. The Golden Record set.
Oh yeah. I did a video on that. It is. It's very nice and it sounds phenomenal. And I
Mm.
love the way these sound. But it's this.
Yeah. I've seen that one. Yeah.
It's on the splatter vinyl.
Mhm.
And it's all mostly alternate takes. And it's funny because they don't say like take one, they say prize, Prise.
Is that Jailhouse Rock or King Creole music?
It's King Creole and it's and Jailhouse Rock. And actually it's got some of Loving You on it too.
Okay.
So it says face instead of side. It says face A is Mean Woman Blues, Loving You, Got a Lot of Living to Do. Face B is Jailhouse Rock, Treat Me Nice, and then it goes, and then the rest, Face B, C, and D, it's all King Creole, all different takes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I haven't even opened mine. What's weird, I didn't notice this until about a week ago. Doesn't have a hype on it, so I was a little
Should we have
disappointed.
one?
It doesn't have a hype sticker on it.
It does. Okay. Oh, yeah, it
It,
does not. Should it have one?
it should have one. Yeah, as
Oh, right. Okay.
far as I know, it should.
Mm.
How about I wanted to, since you mentioned GI Blues, what about? Oh, yeah, see a lot of these I have not opened yet, but wondered if you had this one. I think this cover's spectacular. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, it's a very nice cover. That. Yeah. I haven't got that one. Is it one of the European labels?
It's the VPI, the French label,
Oh,
Cafe
okay.
Cafe Europa,
Mhm.
and a lot of these are hand numbered. Now I did. I don't know if you had seen this because they let's see if I can find it real quick. I'll show you this real quick, and then I don't want to hold you up too long, David.
I'm fine. It must be past your bedtime now.
So, so with the VPI, they release it with an alternate cover,
Mm.
and it's
That's a nice one.
alternate takes. So this is and the original ones were hand numbered. So I got this on if you can see it. But it's hand numbered, and this is number 28 of 1,000. So I ordered this from a guy on Discogs, and paid it wasn't too expensive. Well, then I wanted they had something for everybody, and I got it from the same guy. I'm like, okay, I got number 28, so I ended up getting this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you can see it. Oh, hold on. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't from the glare. I got number one.
Really?
Number
Wow.
one, 0001 out of 1,000.
Wow, you were quick off the mark with that one.
It's like opening up when you're a kid and you open up a baseball card and you got like a signature card or like a card that's one in like 1,200 or 1,000.
Right.
Yeah, because I thought I was hot stuff when I got number 27 or 28 of Blue Hole. I got it from the same guy. About a week later, I opened it. I almost fainted. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
I was just thinking, I've got a CD box set here that's number 19. Although I'll show him that. Then you've got number 1. I can't beat that.
Well, I'm not trying to outdo you, David.
No.
But
I thought that I always imagined that the record companies would, or somebody in the record company would get number 1. You know, like the boss,
you
or
would
the boss
think.
would be a winner.
Yeah, you would think. So I think what I might do is get them on Discogs and then keep them sealed.
Right.
Because I don't know. Now here's the thing about it. Like they're not gatefolds except for the newer ones, like the GI Blues one I just showed you, and I think the King Creole one I showed you. They're gatefolds, but those older ones that are numbered, they're kind of flimsy.
But, the covers.
Yeah, but they're 180 gram and they're all colored vinyl. Like they're very unique. That's what I think I like about them so much.
Yeah, they've got some nice covers, slightly different to the originals, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. And then they have, of course, the Memphis Recording Service. You have any of those?
CDs. I think I've got 1 or 2 CDs. The Hawaii concert from '61. I've got that one. That's Memphis Recording Service.
Yeah.
I really want to get that on vinyl. Can't find it on vinyl. And
it's expensive.
Yeah. I've got another LP of theirs. It's called Elvis on TV or something like that. Elvis on television.
Yeah, I don't have that one on, but there's a lot of those I'm missing.
I just have those 2.
This one's a really good one. This is the Essential 60 to 62 Masters. It's on 3 LPs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what? Elvis is back. Something
so
questions.
Elvis is back. Something for everybody. Yeah, Potluck. And then side B has the same songs, but they're alternate takes. I think it's a trifold. So really nice artwork on them. I don't know if you've seen these, if I can get it open. Really nice artwork. And of course, these are His Hand in Mine.
Is that Memphis Recording Service as well?
Yes, that's the same one I just showed you. There's the other picture.
Yeah.
But what's disappointing is they do such a good job with the vinyl, but they put those flimsy, crappy paper sleeves in there. Like I know it's all about the cost of making these. I get that, but it's like, man, you put all this money into making these fantastic, heavyweight vinyls and the mastering and everything you did. Well, not mastering, but the recording them and all these alternate takes, and then you give you these little flimsy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have a few of these. These are on this is simply vinyl, and it came with a PVC cover, and there's a hype sticker on the PVC cover. It says 180 gram vinyl, something like that, and then it says like something like custom heavy sleeve, but a custom quality sleeve or something like that. And it's really not. It's very thin card,
Yeah.
Really bigging up the sleeve.
Do you have? Are they the same ones that make like Blue Hawaii and all the other ones?
I think Simply Vinyl just did the Golden Records series and the first 2 albums, as far as I know. They were in like, PVC wallets.
Gotcha.
But I took them out of the PVC wallets because it can affect the vinyl.
Yeah. There's a lot of the ones. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if I keep getting them as I've been getting them, or if like I said, take the foot off the pedal a little bit and focus on the FTD CDs. But there's just so many of them to get.
Yeah, it never ends, does it?
Well, no, it doesn't end. So I don't know. The vinyl's fun. It's very addictive. But
can I show you one? Can I show you what do you call it? A bonus entry? What are you calling it?
Yeah, I did my bonus entry.
Honorary mention. That's it.
Yeah, honorable mention.
It's not an official release, but it's got a really good cover. Have you ever seen that one?
Nice. No. Who makes that?
Stop, Rattle and Roll. It's on the Pink and Blue label. That's the name of the record label. And it's all TV stuff from the 50s. I mean, you've heard it all before. Milton Berle, CBS, yeah, Milton Berle show and the Ed Sullivan show.
That is so cool. How long have you had that? I've never seen that before.
I got that one a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's got a booklet with it as well.
Oh wow!
Quite a thick book, a lot of good pictures in there.
Where'd you get that? Discogs?
No, I got that in Japan as well. Most of the stuff that, apart from the UK originals, which are hard to find here, most of the things I own, I've picked up here, basically.
Wow.
Out in the wild. When I used to live in Tokyo, I lived in Tokyo until about 10 years ago. So I bought a lot when I was there.
This is totally un-Elvis related. How long have you lived in Japan?
Well, all told, this is my second time I've lived here. So this time and the previous time, all told, it's about 25 years, 26 years.
Wow.
Most of my adult life, or more than half of my adult life, I spent in Japan, yeah.
So did you go there for a job, or what made you go there?
Well, I originally came on holiday before I went to university. And I came for about a month, stayed with friends of mine. And I just really liked it. So I decided that once I finished university, I'd come back. And so that's what I did. Stayed for 6 years the first time, went back home for 3 years, couldn't really settle down again in England. So I came back 19 years ago now.
Wow. So you're born and raised in England?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Man, I bet you've seen a lot of cool stuff.
How about you? Are you from Delaware originally?
Yeah, born and raised.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The problem with Delaware is it's the second smallest state in the United States. So Rhode Island being the smallest. I mean, you can drive from one end to the other in 2.5 hours.
Is it even smaller than Hawaii?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. When you count all the islands together in Hawaii, it's I would say considerably bigger, but it's definitely bigger. Yeah. It's too congested. There's too many people in this tiny little state. People don't know how to drive. You know, every morning. What's that?
That's the same everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But every morning, because I start my shift 1:30 Eastern time, and I work 4 10-hour days. I work 1:30 to midnight. Right. My wife starts work in the city here it's called Wilmington. It's about 20 minutes away, and she starts at 8:30. So when she's driving to work, she'll always call me and we'll talk on her ride to work. Well, I swear, every day I talk to her, she practically has a near like fatality because people don't know how to drive. People cut her off, somebody tailgating her, and she'll be like, "Oh my word, I just avoided a major." I'm like, man, one of these days, like I'm actually fearful for her sometimes because it's so bad.
Do you get a lot of road rage incidents?
Well, it's not so much road rage. A lot of aggressive drivers. In fact, tonight me and my wife and my 2 daughters, we went to dinner, and I was in the left lane, and I was just getting ready to go over in the right lane, and I think the guy saw me put my turn signal on when he sped up at the last minute, and I had to stop where I was and get back. And my wife kind of looked at me. I'm like, that guy, and then she saw him like. So then he flies past me. Then you see him put his blinker, cuts in front of the guy in front of him. I'm like, yeah, this guy's just being a jerk. So you get that a lot here.
No fun. The Japanese are pretty, I won't say they're good drivers, but they are quite polite drivers.
Yeah, I bet. Well, especially Tokyo, man, because as far as population, isn't it like the second most populated place in the world? Or close to it?
It must be up there, yeah. One of the most. I don't even know where the population is anymore.
Yeah, I bet.
It's much smaller here. There's only about 250,000, I think, where I live in this city.
Oh, wow. Well, if you're up for it, man, we should do this again another time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It was enjoyable. I learned a lot from you.
Yeah, me too.
You didn't learn nothing from me. I learned all from you.
Well, I learned about the Madison Square Garden photo.
One little piece of information. I learned a wealth of knowledge from you. But yeah, I do appreciate you being willing to do this, and I enjoyed
That's
it.
been good. Yeah.
I really did. You got a
Yeah, me
great
too.
channel. I watch you frequently, and sometimes I'll go
Yeah,
back
I've been watching
check
you.
out your older videos. What's that?
Yeah, I've been watching yours as well.
So yeah, everybody has their own flavor, and that's what makes the world go around, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I'll keep in touch with you and email you
Yeah,
and
okay.
do this again sometime.
And if anyone's still watching, thanks for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate all the comments. And again, I apologize. We didn't get a lot of these comments. Like I said, with the problem with, I think I mentioned this earlier. The problem with StreamYard is they don't flow. The comments don't flow. They stick
Mm.
there, and then you got to like go through it all. But Paul Gwynn says, Mark, Memphis drivers are terrible too. The madness is everywhere. And then Caffeine Nom says, great show, guys. I learned a lot too. Great times. That came from JKMPS. So, but yeah, so thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched. David, again, thank you so much, sir. I really thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, me too. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely. All right, man. Take care of
All right,
yourself.
have a good
Talk to
night
you
then.
soon, okay?
Yep, take care then.
Bye.
Bye.